Alright, howdy folks. Happy Wednesday. Halfway through the week, we are back for some more stories from Seoul. My jaw's doing a little better today, so I'm hoping I can try and stream a bit longer, but we'll see how it goes. So we made it back to the gun dog after a very intense time in space being chased down by some sort of thing. We still don't know what it is. And now it's on our ship, and I'm a little worried about that, but we're gonna hope it's gonna be fine. But yeah, we're gonna go talk to people and see how everyone's doing. Hey Mountain Dew, how's it going? Let us load. I guess this was my last save. Is this selected? Hello? There we go. So if I go here, let me just check. Visit engineering, visit fire control. I kind of want to go check in on Cruz and see how he is, because I'm a little worried. But let's talk to Dalton first, since we're here. Hey, Dalton! You shout across the hangar as you shove off the railings towards him, hoping that by giving the cadet as much notice as possible, you won't spook him. Lieutenant! How can I help, ma'am? He will always be spooked, no matter what. You sigh inwardly. Although he wasn't alarmed or shocked, you could tell he was more nervous than usual. You just did a phenomenal job, bud. I want you to know that. Nothing to worry about, cadet. Just part of the patrol. Making sure to check in on everyone. How are you doing? Oh, I'm doing all right, Lieutenant. Thank you. Good to hear. Versus, are you sure? I don't know if we want to question that or not. Oh, doing good, thanks. I feel like you'd say that regardless. But let me just make sure. It didn't seem possible for Dalton to be more apprehensive, but looking at him now, you could see something eating away at him. Are you sure about that, cadet? Well, In the span of half a sentence, Dalton goes from a bundle of nervous energy to totally deflated. Oh, Babby, what's wrong? Oh, honey, no! Oh, Babby. I don't want to be here anymore. Everything's going wrong and it keeps getting worse. I have to be here alone with the thing. I'm scared. I don't want to be here anymore. That's very valid. I'm also worried about you being alone here. I don't want to be here anymore. Hey, Dalton, it's alright. Don't... Taken aback, you tentatively move towards the cadet, raising your arm to lay a reassuring hand on his shoulder. Dalton bats your hand away. Oh, honey! Simultaneously wiping his eyes with his sleeve, smearing tears across his face. No, I'm fine, ma'am. I was just, sorry, I'm just a little bit stressed out and it's I need to fix the... You move forward again, but before you can reach him, he spins, preparing to kick off the Juno towards the crates on the other side of the hangar. Oh... oh gosh, hang on. I don't know. I feel like he's not okay, and normally I don't want to, like, force intervention on someone, but I feel like he needs reassurance right now. Grab him. Anchoring yourself with one hand, you reach out with the other, grabbing the back of his jumpsuit a second before you can get away. No, ma'am, I've gotta go and do this, I gotta... You strain for a moment against the force of his momentum, but your grip holds and you draw him back to you. Ma'am, Dalton, it's all right. Having done nothing to stop himself, the force of you pulling Dalton back leaves him to slowly float into your chest. It's gonna be okay. As Dalton floats limply in silence, you keep your grip on him, but don't say anything, not wanting to push him before he's ready. I'm sorry about that, Lieutenant. I didn't mean to get so worked up. It's been a day for everybody, I get it. It's just been a really stressful day and I'm finding it a bit tough. You move back slightly, giving yourself enough space so that you can look Dalton in the eyes. Or you would if he wasn't dejectedly avoiding eye contact. Hey, cadet, like I said, it's alright. This job's not easy at the best of times. It's fine to be stressed out. I know, but I really shouldn't be. You release your grip on his jumpsuit, laying the hand on his shoulder instead. Come on now, it's fine. You're right. It's been a really stressful day. We're all feeling the pressure right now, and there's nothing wrong with admitting that. If we're being honest, I'd be more worried about anyone on the ship who's not feeling the strain. But the chief and the captain and you... Trust me, cadet. Everyone is feeling it at the moment. Turning away from you to look at the strange machine amongst the massive foam at the other side of the hangar, the trainee engineer sighs despondently before looking back to you. But how do you all deal with it? You can't help but smile at Dalton's question. I wish I could tell you. Oh. But hey, move your hand from Dalton's shoulder, instead patting him reassuringly on the arm. You're doing good work. I know it's tough, but just focus on what you've got to focus on. Let us worry about the rest, okay? Thank you, ma'am. I'll do my best. That's all you can do, cadet. Letting another deep sigh out, Dalton turns back to the engine module he'd been preparing to remove, grabbing onto a handle sticking out of an open maintenance hatch with one hand and rubbing his still teary eyes with the back of the other. I should really be... Of course, no problem. My sweet Babby. Let's just look at this for a second. Can I look at this? There we go. Alright. Just like the chief said, no signs of activity, no signs of life. Your grip tightens as you remember your encounter with it. Even though you'd not been the one piloting, being there whilst Hansen had fought tooth and nail just to stay alive had shown you how dangerous it was. How powerful. If it hadn't been for Dalton's foam rounds, how much longer would Hansen have been able to hold out? The fact that it had been almost unstoppable until suddenly deactivating had started to nag at you as you stared at it. Had it really been stopped, or was there something else going on? Ominous. Okay. Despite everything, both Junos are actually in pretty good condition, ignoring the burned-out engines on Hansen's at least. Thanks to Dalton triggering the arrestor gear at the right time, Hansen's Juno was caught before it could get covered in the foam. Okay, we're gonna go... Actually, let's go... So those are tasks, engineering and fire control. I'm gonna go check on crews, I think. Move to sickbay. Even before the elevator's doors open, your hand is raised to preempt the harsh brightness of the sickbay's lighting. A powerful aroma of disinfectant wafts into the elevator. Okay, no longer bothered by them. As always, everything appears in order, although you quickly notice that the doctor isn't at his desk. Looking over to the left of the room, you see a light illuminated above the doorway leading to the surgery wing, with its large gallery window having taken on a frosted effect, obscuring the view of the inside beyond some vague shapes. Oh boy. The doctor had been able to patch you up pretty quickly, leaving Hansen to wait for necessary procedures that now seem to be underway. Looking back to the beds, you see Cassie tossing and turning uncomfortably. She'd been fast asleep when you and Hansen were brought in, to the point where you wondered if she'd been sedated. That's a little... odd. Were you sedated while we were... Or were you like, Because we saw Cassie's file come up when we were in the computer room in engineering, right? I'm worried she's like possessed or something. By an alien, I don't know. She's been out while we were away? Or has she been out since that thing came aboard? I don't know. I'm just throwing out ideas. But now she was fidgeting and groaning, appearing in genuine discomfort. I don't like that at all. Cassie? Cassie, is everything alright? You lay your hand on her shoulder and take her hand in yours. Hey, Cassie, can you hear me? What's wrong? Oh, it's you, Ren. How was the mission? Did everything... As she lets out a scream, Cassie yanks her hand away from yours. I don't like this. Bringing it up to her head and using it alongside her free hand as if trying to hold her head together. Completely overtaken by pain, Cassie thrashes around on the bed. Oh god, doctor's busy right now. It's all you can do to stop her from throwing herself off it. Hey, Cassie, it's all right. It's gonna be okay. You look around in a panic, unsure of what to do. Your first instinct is to go get Dr. Rosarium, but as he's in the middle of a surgical procedure, you don't think he'd be able to drop everything just to come to Cassie. Cassie, did the doctor leave you anything? Any instructions? Any tablets? Yeah, I would try and voice these, but I don't want the landlords to hear me screaming downstairs out of context, so we're just gonna insert scream here. Cassie, come on, anything? Pills! On the counter! Without a moment's hesitation, you dash over to the countertop where you can see a half-spent blister of tablets atop a box of more of the same. You grab a nearby small glass, fill it with water from the hand-washing station, and then take it and the tablets over to Cassie. Oh god. Hey, Cassie. Cassie, wake up and take these, come on! You slide your arm under Cassie's back and gently bring her to an upright position, keeping your arm in place to prop her up.
Oh, hey honey,
These are the tablets you mentioned, right? Sandra, still in a daze, blinks at the glass of water and pills you hold up to her, slowly reaching out to take the glass and then some tablets.
Oh yeah, the doctor said they'd help the headaches.
Dreamily, she places two in her mouth and you help her with the glass of water. She drains it, and after you take it off her, you lower her back down to the bed.
Thanks, sweetie.
You remain standing over Cassandra for a few minutes, but it looks like she's fallen into the same heavy slumber that she was in when you were brought down here earlier. I really don't like that. You squeeze her hand before turning to leave, but before you can step away, you feel a gentle grip on your wrist.
Hey, come back in a bit. I want to hear about your...
Before she can finish the sentence, Cassie slumps back onto the bed, releasing you. Sure thing, Cassie.
I don't like...
Okay, we can't see what's happening in there. Glad the Dr. Rosarium had left Cassandra's medication out on the countertop. If he'd locked them back up, I might have been forced to break into the cabinets. Ugh, sinuses, sorry. Only two beds, it was Hanson on one and Cassie on the other. I had to make do with being propped up in the doctor's chair. Okay, I guess that's it for here. Okay, we'll just check each place aside from the objective list before we go there. Assume no one's here. Armory, probably no one, but just in case. Okay. I'm scared to talk to the captain after how we left. Airlock. No issues here. After we brought the Gundog back online, the whole crew had been reminded about the locations of emergency spacesuits throughout the ship. The attack from the machine was so sudden, though, that there was no chance for anyone to put one on. If its attack had been successful, it probably wouldn't have made much difference to the crew's survival if they'd been wearing one or not. Horrifying. Looks like it's in normal working order. I've had enough views into space from this room to last me a lifetime. The only time I ever want to see this door open is when we're docked. Valid. Okay. No one in here. Okay. Quarters.
Hello there.
Hello, hello! Stream Elements is not telling me who popped in. Why is Stream Elements not showing up? I figured it was you, Dart. Oh, there it goes. It was a little delayed. Hello, how's it going? Sorry, I was like... Surely that's Dart, but I don't want to say it is without verifying. How's it going? Welcome, welcome. So I keep thinking I'm gonna interact with my computer and something's gonna happen, but alas, nothing yet. Doing good here, thanks. Just, having PTSD in space, as one does. Looks like it's working fine. I guess there haven't been any issues with the central computer since before we went to the O'Brien. No time for reading right now. I really hope things will be calm enough between now and getting to Europa for me to get a little rest. Why do I feel like that's not gonna happen? I figured when this day was over I'd get some sleep, then change into a fresh uniform, but the way things have gone, it feels like it's going to last forever. Standard issue crew bunk has never looked so inviting. ... Well, maybe the one in Cassie's quarters. That's usually got something mine hasn't. Alright, let's leave. Nothing in here, it looks like. Oh, no worries. So you started this and I missed the first ep, so I've been waiting for the VODs, but apparently this game is quite long. I thought I would get like 3 streams out of it, but I've had to do some shorter streams because of some jaw and sinus issues, so it's taking a little longer than I anticipated. But I think probably today and one more I'll probably get it finished up. I eat up cool visual novels all day. It's been really fun. I'm very impressed with the work they've done on this. Let's go... Yes, that's it. Of the Devil. Ooh, I don't think I'm familiar with that one. What's it about? Go to these ones. Okay. You know that Cassie is still in the sick bay, but it feels comforting to be in her quarters. It's the same as ever. The faint aroma of her perfume hangs in the air as you look over the possessions she's left scattered around the memories that you've had attached to them. Okay, sorry. Again, a comma would benefit this sentence. Let me try this whole thing again. The faint aroma of her perfume hangs in the air, and as you look over the possessions she's left scattered around, the memories that you had attached to them come flooding back. Got it. Okay, so my brain broke for a second there. Cyberpunk Phoenix Wright. Ooh, consider me intrigued. No, I am playing this on Switch. There is a PC version though, and a PS version, I believe. Okay, let's look around. You look across to the terminal and notice that underneath everything it's active. That's weird. Cassie's not been discharged from the sickbay, so she shouldn't have come here to access the terminal. Oh? Besides, no one else aside from the captain and me have access to her quarters. Oh my god, we have to snoop. No, look more. What's it active with? What could the terminal be doing active like this? I don't know, look around in it. I normally would not advocate for that, but these are extenuating circumstances. Just fishing to see if you would stream PC games. If I recall, you preferred Switch greatly. Yeah, it's mostly like a stream setup thing. Because I have to rejig my entire setup anytime I try to stream on PC, and by PC I mean laptop, which has limited capabilities depending on the game. So I try to go for Switch or console in general if I can. Unless there are absolutely no other options. Once we're back to Europa, I think Cassie definitely deserves the trip to that water park she mentioned. Look at the bunny. Look at the pink bunny. If she's in sickbay much longer, the bed there is going to end up looking like this. We should bring one of her stuffed toys to her. It must be my imagination, but this room seems a little bit messier than the last time I was here. But Cassie's still in the sickbay. Game, you're freaking me out. Stop. Maybe it was the shoes. Shoes? Pfft. Shocks from that last thing's attack. Why am I putting words that aren't words in this sentence? Maybe it was the shocks from that thing's attack on the gun dog, knocking things loose. Okay. Episodic, and the first episode just dropped at the start of this month. Probably needs to pick up. Steam. Oh ho ho. To get ported to console. Okay, gotcha. Well, keep an eye on it. If it's on Steam, I can follow updates and hopefully they end up porting it. That would be good. Alright, is that the game you mentioned in Leary's Discord, or was that something else? I quickly looked through, but I can't remember now. Criminally unknown, yeah, spread the word! I like to highlight lesser known games on this channel, so I appreciate that. I wonder if we can go to the captain's quarters. You approach the captain's door with a sense of trepidation. You haven't finished your patrol, but for some reason you find yourself drawn to her quarters. You aren't entirely sure why you've come here. Maybe despite everything you know about the captain, you're looking for a figure of authority to reassure you about the Gundog situation. Ooh, hiccup. Although you have your doubts, the captain's laconic ways and swift decisions give you the impression that there's more capability to her than she's letting on. Maybe you've come here to talk with the captain to reassure yourself that that's the case. Oh god. Or maybe it's that you can't resist the chance to bring up the contents of that report you read in her quarters. I didn't think she was going to be here. I thought she was going to be on the bridge. As you consider your intentions, you reach out and knock briskly on the door. You wait a few seconds. Oh god, I'm nervous. And eventually you hear the muffled voice of the captain within. Enter. Oh, I didn't think you'd actually be here. I'm not ready. You press a button on the terminal next to the door and it slides open, allowing you to step inside. Hey, Captain! As you enter, you take a deep breath of air in preparation for the Malador you'd encountered the last time you'd been in this room. Unfortunately for your nose and lungs, the reactivation of the Gundog's life support system includes the air scrubbers. Although the quarters had smelt unpleasant the last time you were here, it wasn't due to anything that had stuck around, so now the atmosphere had the same familiar sterile scent as everywhere else. Oh, thank goodness. If you like Blade Runner, Phoenix Wright, or Danganronpa, it has elements of all but doesn't blatantly copy any. Actually improves on certain things like talking to witnesses, and the art style's unique and very cool. The art did look good, for if that's the one I saw in the Discord, which as an artist I appreciate. Confession, I have not played any of those games myself, but I have watched some Phoenix Wright and Danganronpa playthroughs, so I feel like I could vibe with it. I'll check out the trailer for sure. You do your best to exhale slowly and subtly as you approach the captain, no longer needing the reserve of clean corridor air to bear the smell of the quarters. Lieutenant. You stand to attention as the captain acknowledges you, although she doesn't give you her full attention. Instead, she continues to type something into her terminal. Awkward. No, I'd wanted to play a Phoenix Wright game on the channel, but it was pretty low in the... I know, it's terrible. It's lower in the priorities roster, unfortunately, but it looks goofy, so someday I'd like to play at least one.
Haven't gotten around to it.
I take it you've finished your patrol? Oh god, I've barely started. She strikes a final key, and you hear the mechanical repetition of a printer from somewhere on the far side of the desk. I should have talked to you last. I thought you were going to be on the bridge. No, not yet, ma'am. The captain remains silent as she leans across to one side of the desk, and you hear the tearing of perforated paper. You continue to watch as she comes away with a series of pages, all connected, but which fold at regular intervals where they have been neatly punctured with rows of small pinprick-like holes. I remember this printer paper. I used to doodle on it as a child. She efficiently concertinas? I've never seen that word. The pages together, and then places them into a drawer on the other side of the desk, which you recognize as the one you'd obtained the emergency input codes from. With an accusatory click, she locks the drawer, finally turning her full attention to you. Phoenix Wright is especially frustrating at times. Trying to coax testimony out of jerk witnesses with specific evidence is sometimes easy to get stumped on. Yeah, I remember watching certain cases and being like, I never would have gotten that. So it feels like there's moments like that, but as a whole it seemed like goofy fun. Is there an immediate issue, Lieutenant Farrow?
You just do a little save.
What do you make of that craft, the contents of the report, what happened on the O'Brien, What will happen at Europa Colony? I'm assuming I can ask all of these, so let's talk about the craft first. I know we've just discussed it in the hangar, but what do you make of that craft? You think it's Terran or Martian, or...? I can't say anything about that machine for certain, Lieutenant. Feel yourself deflate slightly. It appeared your desire for clarity, answers, or reassurance would go unsatisfied. Beyond what we know about it from our engagement and what you and Chief Engineer Cathays have been able to advise, I have no additional information that might elucidate the matter. To be frank, my main concern is not what that thing is, where it came from, or why it's here, but simply how quickly we can get it to Europa Colony and out of the hangar. I'm sure you're of the same mind as me on this, Lieutenant. Yes, ma'am. Sure. Are you liking this? I love the UI and the art looks phenomenal. I agree on both of those points. It's been really good. Like, it definitely hits the retro vibe. We had a really interesting... How would I describe it? I guess kind of like a combat action sequence. Maybe less combat. We had an action sequence that happened yesterday that really caught me off guard in like the best way. And it's not something I've really seen done in a visual novel before, so that was really good, and the art is phenomenal. And what's really cool is you can actually change the art styles. So I'm in vivid mode right now, but you could go to like studio mode, which I haven't tried. Let's just go see what that looks like. So you can change the aesthetic depending on kind of the era of gaming you're interested in. There's lots of sci-fi references. Highly recommend it to anyone interested in this sort of thing. It's been great. Very good. Is there anything else I can help you with? What happened at the O'Brien? We're gonna work up to this one. We have some tension with the captain because I did a thing she explicitly told me not to do, and I'm worried she's gonna try and kill me in space for it, but hopefully I've proved my competence. I thought now might be a good time to go over what happened aboard the O'Brien. Is there something you forgot to tell me during the earlier debriefing, Lieutenant? Whilst it was true that you had given the captain a breakdown of the events aboard the O'Brien as soon as you had been dismissed from the sickbay, there hadn't been much more to that conversation than you reporting the facts. The captain had come up with any countermeasures or preparations to ensure the same fate that befell the O'Brien's crew wouldn't happen to the Gundogs. She hadn't shared it. No, ma'am. I was just wondering if you'd had any thoughts about any protective measures we might be able to take to keep the crew safe. Lieutenant Farrow, from what you told me, the O'Brien's crew, no, I read it right the first time, with the exception of Dr. DeBoer, had been neutralized at their posts, correct? Yes, ma'am. With that in mind, alongside the fact that we don't know what this thing is, how it operates, or the extent of its abilities, I don't see much point in trying to come up with countermeasures to weapons we don't even know exist. Do you, Lieutenant? Yeah, Game Boy aesthetic, and there's like PC 98 gaming aesthetic as well. It's really fun. It's when I saw the trailer and I had hopes for what it would be, it's kind of met all those hopes and expectations so far. You're a little bit shaken by the captain's apparent indifference to the threat of the machine currently sat in the hangar. But then you couldn't really argue with her logic either. Well, no, ma'am. Precisely. For now we're stuck with whatever this craft is, and with our communications system out of action, we have no choice but to carry on as best we can. Do you disagree with this course of action, Lieutenant? It only takes a brief moment of thinking for you to realize that she's right. For the time being, you've got no way of knowing what the machine can do, so no way of counteracting it. No, ma'am. Well then, unless there's anything else. What will happen at Europa Colony? I was wondering, what do you think will happen when we get back to Europa Colony? She's like, would you go away? With a long sigh, the captain leans back in her chair and steeples her fingers. Given the nature of our cargo, I imagine that the Gundog will be isolated before we even reach Europa and the crew removed. As in, like, gently taken off the craft or, like, eradicated. From my knowledge of the JCF review process, I expect that after that there will be a lengthy debriefing, which will be accompanied by a full review of the ship's logs. It's likely that we'll all be held separately until they can be confident that none of the crew can be connected to the craft or the loss of the O'Brien. I'm really worried about Cassie. If they come to that conclusion, we'll still remain under supervision, but with the freedom of the colony until the higher-ups are happy. There's no need to follow up. Whereupon, we'll be returned to duty. That seems reasonable. The UI and settings make me think of Kojima's earlier games, Snatcher and Police Knots. Both also tap into androids and science fiction. Ooh, very cool. I think you would like this art. It seems like it would vibe with you. If they don't decide that, well, I suppose one way or another we can look forward to an extended period of leave. Her little smirk. Whether that's in a holding cell or on Europa Colony is up to what's decided by the investigators. You shudder at the sight of the captain's wry smile. It was an expression you rarely saw, and given the discussion, it did little to make you feel at ease. The fact that the captain had mentioned her knowledge of the review process had also left you wondering if this was a first-hand experience. Does that help clear things up, Lieutenant? Although it had given you an insight into what to expect, the revelation hadn't made you feel any more positive about what you could look forward to once you'd returned to your open space. Yes, thank you, ma'am. Good. Is there anything else?
Let's just save before we do this one.
I'm scared. Every time I breach this topic, I feel like you're gonna strangle me, because I know too much. The contents of the report. Yay! It's been fun. I'm enjoying it a lot. And from what I understand, it's got multiple endings, so there's some nuance to the decisions you make. I don't know how extensive, but I know they exist. The last time you brought this up with the captain, you'd almost backed out of asking her about it due to the anxiety and apprehension you'd felt around broaching the subject. Although that had only been a few short hours ago, the experience you'd had on board the O'Brien and Hansen's Juno had recalibrated your attitude towards certain things, and now what had scared you before seemed almost inconsequential in comparison. That's true, we've been through a time. Despite that, you still feel the clutch of nervousness around your throat. Take a deep breath, hold it, and then as you breathe out, you begin to talk. I was hoping we'd have the opportunity to talk about the contents of that report, Captain. Lieutenant Farrow, with the current circumstances in mind, do you really feel this is a wise course of action? You take another deep breath in, this time to fuel the anger that had quickly risen inside of you. We spoke on the bridge. You said it wasn't the time, Captain. But if not now, then when? When we get back to Europa? On our next deployment? When? Lieutenant Farrow, as I stated in our previous discussion, the contents of that report are personal and not relevant to you. That's bullshit, Captain, and you know it. Oh. I'm gonna get court-martialed. You slam both hands down on the captain's desk, fully aware that you've just crossed a line, but too consumed in the anger that's burning within you to care. I told you that Hansen and I were both part of Calic Flight, and you know what happened to us. Lieutenant, your obsession with this report is... How is it an obsession? You throw up your arms in exasperation. I have a right to know. I have a right to know what happened. You don't, actually. I do. So does Hansen. He knows too. No, we shouldn't have said that. Ren, honey, we were supposed to keep that secret in case she does kill us, so we had a backup contingency plan. Well, so much for that. Lieutenant, are you telling me that you shared this information with on-sign crews as well as... Yes, I did. We both know you're responsible. Oh my god. That was our trump card. What have you done? Listen to me, Lieutenant. With a speed and intensity that shocks you, the captain stands up from her chair, bringing her eyes level with yours. There are things in this life that are more important to us than our orders, than our duty. As the captain exhales softly, tilting her head downwards, the light shifts across her face, and in the corner of her eye, you see the faint hint of a sparkle. Yeah, she gets really intense sometimes, and it's very intimidating. Than our honor. And when it's a choice between these things that are more important to us than anything and everything else, we know what decision we have to make. For better or for worse. Of all the crew on board this ship, you might be the only one who understands that. What are you... I will not tolerate this level of insubordination. You take a step back. Although you'd seen the captain angry on the bridge when you'd last brought this up, you'd not experienced the almost physical force of emotion that she now exudes. This may have been a mistake. Now you will leave my quarters immediately, and I do not expect to see you until you've completed your patrol. And when you return with your report, I will not tolerate any further questions along this line. Is that understood, Lieutenant? You clench your jaw, trying to weigh up your options. The bravery that had driven you earlier, fueled by anger, had subsided, and given way to a much cooler pragmatism. Although you could still feel the white-hot core of anger within your chest, you knew that you'd already gone too far, and the lack of consequences was probably only due to there being no other security staff on board, and the captain's deep-rooted indifference. Grit your teeth and return to standing at attention. Yes, ma'am. Understood. Very good, Lieutenant. Dismissed. That could have gone better. You throw an aggressive salute and turn on your heels toward the room's exit. You jab the keypad on the terminal next to the door and step through it as soon as it's opened, letting it hiss shut behind you. You stand in the cool air of the corridor for a moment, going over what had just transpired in the captain's quarters. You still felt angry, but compared to the anger that you'd felt after the previous confrontation, this felt different, almost confused. I might be the only one who understands? What does that... Damn it! Confusion gives way to regret as you begin to go over the conversation in your head. In the silence of the corridor, you begin to think that the direct approach may not have been the right one to take. I'm tempted to reload that, but I kind of want to just go with this and see what happens. Consequences be damned. I will keep this old save, though, just in case I want to try something else. At least we weren't jettisoned into space. Yet. I feel like that could still happen. But hopefully we've reached an understanding at least, and she doesn't want to actively kill me. I'm not sure. With a loud sigh, you run your hands back through your hair and head to the end of the corridor, going over the conversation one more time. You may not have got the answers you'd wanted this time either, but the captain had told you more than last time. You could feel you were close. Maybe Hansen and I need to tag team. You may not get the answer out of her now, but soon. Guess I've got a patrol to finish then. Oh man. Okay, well, that was a time. Anything else to look at here? Guess not. Let's go... So we did that. I really thought she was going to be on the bridge. I bet Vanessa's on the bridge. Ugh. Did that. We did that. Did that. Guess we'll do this side. Go to the mess hall. Anyone here? Before you even head into the mess hall, the aroma of machine-made coffee and pancakes wafts down the four-side thoroughfare, and your stomach growls audibly. You hadn't realized how hungry you were until now, but with the scent of rich food in the air, your body begins to let you know in no uncertain terms that you are ravenous. Oh hey, Haru. As you step inside, you see Onsai and Rumney leaning back lazily in their chair, slowly picking their way through a stack of syrup-covered pancakes, fork in one hand, cup of coffee in the other. They acknowledge you by looking over to the doorway and raising their cup of coffee slightly before returning to their meal. Before you can say anything, your stomach growls loudly again. A smirk appears on the pilot's face briefly, but is quickly dismissed as they go to take another mouthful of pancake. As they carry on eating, you decide to leave them to it, for the time being, and head into the room to take a look at the available options. Pancakes and coffee. Breakfast of champions! I like pancakes, but they give me horrible stomach aches, so I usually have to go with French toast instead. I don't know if French toast exists in space, but now I want to eat it. Okay, let's grab some food, I guess, hopefully. Used to get that too. Yeah, I don't know what it is. They just... something about them. Approaching the machine, you look over the list of menu options. You'd been surprised when you first got on board, and the choice was just as extensive as the machines on much larger ships you'd been stationed on. Huh. Problem with this was that all the choices made it difficult to decide on what you wanted to eat. There's too many, and my brain is tired. I don't want to make decisions right now. Yeah, even homemade ones I've tried. I don't know. Must be something in the ingredients that doesn't sit well with me, but they're not that different from other things I eat, so I'm not sure why that would happen. Spend a minute or two going back and forth over the various menu options before narrowing it down to... Oh, I could go for a hamburger right now. Absolutely. You press the button to select a classic hamburger and follow up by choosing some specifics. I love pickles independently, but I don't like pickles on my burger. Waffles I'm usually okay with. Yeah, those I can do okay with. After you input the final option, you hear the machine whir into life as it produces a cacophony of muffled noises. After a few minutes, the hatch opens and a surprisingly well-presented hamburger slides out on a plate. Once you remove it from the machine, you head to the table and sit down away from Haru, assuming that their lack of conversation is a choice they'd like you to respect. I wanna talk to Haru. Waffles are superior. I would agree with that. In terms of my ranking, it would be like French toast, waffles, pancakes. Hey, Wolves, how's it going? Thank you for paying off your Labra funds like a good and responsible patron. Soul the Gundog sounds wild. I'm ready to learn more. How to summarize. We're in space. We just ate a hamburger. Our girlfriend might be possessed. It's a whole time. It's been great though. If you are a fan of 80s, 90s era video games and retro anime, it's been great. Highly recommend. Ooh, crepes are good too. Okay, let's see. How does that affect my ranking? Feel free to weigh in on this, Foofs. We're ranking breakfast foods. French toast, waffles, crepes, and pancakes, probably. I think waffles and crepes are kind of interchangeable for me. Possessed like a cult. Okay, so I'm not sure, but she like... There's a thing happened to our ship and she started getting these weird headaches and she's passing out and she keeps showing up on computer terminals with her personnel file for weird reasons. I don't know what's going on. I did all of those yesterday too. Then it'll be right up your alley. Yeah, we don't know why it's happening, just that something is happening. And I feel like aliens have possessed her mind, but I'm not sure. French toast, pancakes, waffles, crepes. Very good, very good. Yes, French toast is superior. I wholeheartedly agree. Your stomach is almost roaring as you take your first bite. Despite having come from a machine and being made from entirely synthetic ingredients, the bun is fluffy and the quote-unquote meat of the burger is juicy. Space meat. As you chew, you notice something in the taste of this first bite, and your chewing slows as you slowly peel the top of the bun away from the burger to inspect it. What's going on, ma'am? Something you weren't expecting in there? Is it the frickin' pickle? You swallow your mouthful of burger and shake your head. It frickin' was. Don't tell me you don't like pickles in your hamburger, Lieutenant. I don't. I love pickles, just not in my burger. I'm fine with pickles, but like I said, there is a time and a place for them. I put crepes above all else, but I only eat them at restaurants with ample strawberries. Nice. I had a bunch of crepes when I was in Japan. Their crepes are spectacular and like nothing else I've ever had. No, I'm fine with pickles. I was just inspecting the inside of your burger. Totally normal behavior for someone not planning on digging out the pickles. There's a time and place for pickles in my burger, and now Haru apparently agrees. I do not. I'm not. I was taking a look to appreciate the sight of a nice, fresh burger. I got you, Lieutenant. Who wouldn't? Without inspecting the burger further, you replace the top of the bun and take a large bite and purposefully chew it, ignoring the salty, tangy taste that had caught your attention. I heard their pancakes are equivalent to pizza. That would be okonomiyaki, which is kind of like a pancake pizza, yes. I didn't get to eat that when I was there, though, and I'm really upset about it, so next time I go, that is on the roster of foods to try. It's a good thing you like pickles, ma'am. There's something wrong with the machine so that it always includes them in the burgers. Oh, I suppose of all machine malfunctions that could happen, that's pretty mild. But only kids dislike pickles, right? So the chiefs never needed to fix it. I mean, you can dislike pickles. Big vouch for okonomiyaki. May look strange, but it's delicious, and it's there's a lot of varieties to it, right? So it sounds like you could tailor it to whatever ingredients you would find delightful. Taking one more purposeful bite, you grunted acknowledgement, forcing yourself to work through another mouthful of tainted burger. You finished the burger this way, dutifully taking large bites and then chewing them slowly, doing your best to ignore the taste. Haru watches you casually, sipping on their coffee every now and again until they see you finish the entire thing. Now that was one good-looking burger, Lieutenant. Can you not watch me while I eat? It's very uncomfortable. How dare you, Haru? How heckin' dare? It's one of those put a dozen things on top of it deals. People mix and match. Yeah. Ugh. There's like a few things I didn't get to eat when I was there, but that's probably the one I was most meaning to get to and didn't. You mumble a response as you make your way back to the food vendor, inserting your plate into a slot where it quickly retracts as soon as you let it go. Well, since we're here, let's talk to you, now that we've breached conversation. Although Haru was keeping to themselves right now, you felt that with things the way they were on board the ship, it'd be good to check in with everyone. You pull up a seat next to the pilot, who gives you a flicker of recognition before continuing to slowly pick at their pancakes. Ensign Rumney, how are you doing? Probably better than you after that landing, Pharaoh. Didn't think I'd be seeing you out of the sickbay so soon. Aloja-chan, the space-time, it's here. We just ate a space hamburger, and it wasn't supposed to have pickles, but it did, and we had to eat it anyway. Yeah, well, I was lucky that... So is Hansen out too? Oh no, he's still being seen by the doctor. When I left, he was taking him into the surgery wing. Something about artificial ossification? Space pickle! Damn, how'd he manage to go and break something that seriously whilst you're up and about without a scratch? He was the one piloting, I guess? Well, next time you see him, make sure you give him the thanks he deserves for getting you out of that situation alive. If it wasn't for his piloting, this whole ship would be space dust right now. Him and Dalton deserve all the praise in this situation. I fully agree and acknowledge that. Can you simply not remove the pickle? I was going to, and then Haru judged me, and I had to, like, save face. So much social pressure. Maybe with, like, the weird gravity in space, it, like, I don't know, makes it twofold. Did I? Oh, wait, I read that. You roll your eyes and cross your arms. You know they're not wrong, but the thought of actively thanking Hansen for something... No, I agree. He was an absolute champ about that. I'm autistic. I'm immune to pressure. Yes. Yeah, I'll let him know. Haru returns their attention to their pancakes, continuing the meal, only interrupting it with the occasional sip of coffee. You sit there for a little bit longer, but as the silence drags on, you decide you've probably got as much conversation out of Haru as you're going to, so you push your chair back and stand up. As you go to walk away, you hear the sound of Haru's chair as it scoots along the floor, causing you to turn back. I'm serious, Lieutenant. Make sure you tell him. I will, as long as he promises to congratulate Dalton. So he did, but not to his face, and Dalton needs to hear that from Cruz specifically. Especially after he made fun of him. That wasn't cool. You look at Haru for a moment and then mentally shrug as you turn away again. I heard you the first time on sign, don't worry. Okay, I want to get some snackies. You look at the vending machine and consider the available snacks. The thought of a chocolate bar seems appealing, and you take your ID card out of your pocket, slide it into the machine's card slot, and key in your selection. One of the coils spins slowly, and your bar is eventually ejected, landing at the bottom of the machine near the access hatch. Ooh, silent voice! I love that anime. You got a silent voice. I wonder if that's an intentional or if it's something else. Nice. I'll save this for later. Okay, anything else? Am I still hungry? Nope. The coffee is still here. Mara's drinking that right now. It'd be pretty weird if I decided to take a swig. I don't like coffee anyway, it's fine. Okay, is that everything here? I guess so. Is anything else? Oh gosh. Oh no, it's repeating the whole thing. Ah, okay, never mind. Sorry, I didn't realize that would repeat the combo. I'll tell him. I'll tell him. I'll tell him. I'll tell him. I tried to, but he was in surgery when I went over, so... Okay. Let's go to the hangar, and then we'll go to fire control, because that's on our list. Oh wait, we're here already. What am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. Boop. You'd been ordered to carry out a security patrol by the captain, and with you being up to speed with what was going on in the hangar, that meant fire control was your next step. Hey, is it Miranda Simer? I'm probably saying that wrong. Miranda, is it okay to go by that, or if you have a preferred way? Welcome. Silent Voice was named for the theme from Gundam ZZ. Oh, okay. Also the real-life chocolate bar called Wispa in the UK. Ah, very good. Thank you for the context. It's like, I only know this from the anime. I'm sure there's some other context I have completely missed. And now I know. As you step into the small room, you're surprised as Dylan turns around immediately. Thank you for the hydrate. Hydration complete. There's a lot of talking. Hey, Lieutenant, did they send you to check up on me? Just a standard security patrol, D's. How's it all going? The normally placid warrant officer rolls his eyes, theatrically slumping back in his chair and gesturing to the monitors all around him with visible frustration. Oh, you know, great. I've been ordered to remain on high alert, but the issue with the long-range targeting system is even worse than before, so I can't actually do anything unless we've got a target in visual range. Oh, that's annoying. I can only imagine how these games strain your voice. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done a visual novel with this much text to read through, so between that and just my sinus issues, I've been having a bit of a hard time with narrating stuff, but I'm gonna do my best, I promise. Which means I've got to keep looking at every one of these screens all the time and nothing else. So, you know, living the dream. What's wrong with the long-range system? As if I know. Same thing as before, just worse. That's how the enemy got the drop on us. We didn't know they were there until they were right on top of us. Otherwise, I might have been able to get some shots in from the main guns. Might have been able to do something against that machine at least, not like the point defense cannons were any use. I swear I almost got it so many times, but it moved faster than the cannons could. Even when I tried to lead the target, it was too erratic to figure out where it'd be. You tried, bud. That's all you can do. Ugh. Never seen him this frustrated before. With a groan, Dylan slides further into his chair and kicks off the floor, sending the chair spinning in a slow circle. As he rotates, he glances over all of the monitors before turning back to you. But yeah, anyway, the long-range targeting system's almost completely useless right now. It's been fuzzy since this morning, but it got way worse when that thing showed up. So I assume that was the object that we heard about on the O'Brien. I had a feeling it was, but it seems like it's the thing that's mucking up the other things. I've tried to ask the chief to take a look at it, but she's still busy with the engines and everything else going on, so like... He looks over the top of his glasses at you and shrugs. It is what it is. It is what it is, you know. Dylan makes another rotation, this time gently brushing his hand over the targeting system controls, shifting their focus slightly as he rotates past them. The thing, I know. The horror. Well, what's up with you, Lieutenant? Got pretty gnarly out there, huh? You alright? All things considered, although apparently I have a neck injury that I'm just walking around with, but hey. You take a moment to rub your neck. You'd noticed it was beginning to stiffen and the pain was creeping in around the edges. Hopefully whatever the doctor had given you would hold out for a few more hours. Yeah, not too bad, Dees. Thanks for asking. That's good, yeah. I could see Hansen's Juno through the cameras. Pulled some pretty sick maneuvers. He must have been really hanging on in there. You think back to how you'd been thrown around the cockpit by some of Hansen's stunts. The experience of clinging on to the temporary passenger seat wasn't one you wanted to relive soon. You're not wrong. Things got pretty wild out there. I'm just glad we made it back in one piece.
Yeah, I'm, sorry I couldn't do more to help you out with the Gundog's weapons, you know? Just everything was way too slow.
It's okay. It's all good. You smile and wave your hands subtly to dismiss Dylan's concern. I hadn't even thought about Dylan. I was so preoccupied with, like, congratulating Hansen and Delton. No wonder he's frustrated. That must have felt, like, really helpless. Don't worry about it, Deez. We couldn't do much against it either. I don't think there's anything on board that could have taken that thing out.
Yeah, you might be right, huh?
A silence hangs between the two of you. You're about to make your excuse to leave before Dylan leans forward in his seat, looking you dead in the eyes and speaks in a hushed tone.
So, like, what is that thing, Lieutenant? What happened on the O'Brien? Is it Martian? Karen, what's the deal? Have we got to the pilot yet?
Place your hands on your hips before shifting your weight onto one foot and crossing your arms instead. Milt's exhaling deeply, you break the eye contact and look around the room at the monitors, finally looking back to Dylan, who sits there staring at you expectantly. Honestly, Deez, I've got no idea. All I know is that it blew the O'Brien to pieces and then came for the Gundog, and nothing we've got seems to have been able to scratch it. Dylan lets out a loud sigh, making his frustration obvious.
Ugh, great, okay. Well, thanks anyway, ma'am. Guess I better get back to these monitors in case another one comes looking for its friend.
Please don't say that. You'll manifest it. Sure. I'll check in on you later, Deez. With that, Dylan turns back to the walls of monitors, and you watch him begin to idly prod the controls, adjusting and shifting views on some screens and altering the focus on others. Let me just talk to him again real quick. Oh, Deez.
Yes, Lieutenant?
How come you're not listening to your music? He's on full alert. With a loud groan, Dylan leans back in his chair and stares at the ceiling for a moment before looking back to you.
I'm on high alert, and because the long-range system's out, that means that we're on visual range targeting only, so I don't get any early warnings or detection notices. I've got to be on lookout the entire time, so I can't put an album on or take it easy. It's killing me.
Ah, I see.
But what good's it even gonna do if I see another one of those things? The Gundog's weapons couldn't keep up with the one that's made itself at home right inside the ship. Ugh,
I mean, do we even know it's out of commission for real? I have doubts. You grit your teeth. You'd like to give Dylan some reassurance, but you were having similar thoughts yourself.
I just want the chief to fix it so I can get back to my music. I feel like if I have to sit here in silence for much longer, I'm gonna go nuts.
Well, if I get the chance, I'll bring it up with her, alright?
Nice. Thanks, Lieutenant.
No problem, Deez. Okay, let's look around. Same old mass of readouts and views of various points outside the ship. Dylan said the long-range targeting system is out of action. I guess some of these displays do look fuzzier than others. Okay, that's the same. There's so many different controls for so many different weapons. Dylan must have really had his hands full here during the fight even. No music is indeed the true horror, just the vast expanse of the void of space staring back at you. How existential. I bet watching him switch between all these point defense system controls was really something to watch. Okay, I think that's good for here. So that should be that one. I guess we'll go to engineering next. I think I've exhausted all the other areas on this side of the ship. I guess we'll go to the bridge. I don't want to talk to Vanessa. Oh, she's not here. Huzzah! You step off the elevator and enter the bridge to the sound of a trill beeping coming from a control panel. Oh god, she is. Never mind. For those uninitiated, I kind of hate Vanessa. And by kind of, I mean vehemently. Stood over the panel, typing hurriedly on the keyboard, is Vanessa. She looks over to you with a start before turning back to the keyboard and quickly entering more commands.
After a few seconds of typing, she aggressively hits the enter key, which silences the beeping, and turns quickly to you, looking slightly flushed. What were you doing? Were you being sus, Vanessa, or were you just...
And what do you want, Lieutenant Pharaoh?
At this point, you no longer have the energy to mask your exasperation. Let out a sigh as you pinch the bridge of your nose between your thumb and forefinger. I'm just carrying out a standard patrol, Lieutenant Lord, making sure everything's in order following the battle. Is everything okay up here? You leaned slightly to try and see what was being displayed on the screen above the panel Vanessa had just been using, but was now stood in front of. Girl, you're up to something. I don't trust you. Stepping sideways to block your view, Vanessa reaches back to the keyboard without turning around and enters a quick series of button presses that shift the display to something else. Arch rivals? I think rival is too generous. She is my mortal space enemy. I hate her.
Of course you're on patrol. I suspected you wouldn't be here to give your post-mission report like you're supposed to. It'd be too much to expect the Gundog's hero, the dashing Lieutenant Pharaoh, to actually follow protocol for once. What's your I saved your ass, and by I mean I made decisions that allowed other people to save your ass. Like, cool it for 2 seconds. But then again, with how I had to remind you of procedure when the power went out, I suppose you might not be willfully ignorant of how you're supposed to act. It could be that you're just plain ignorant instead.
You feel a familiar rising tide of anger within you, feeling that for most of your career had been limited to encounters with Hansen, but was now becoming much more common with every conversation you had with Vanessa. See, like, Hansen is kind of our arch rival, who I'm hoping we're going to be frenemies with, but Vanessa's like full villain. Hate her. Can't stand her.
You do know you're supposed to report to the mission overseer immediately after you're dismissed from sickbay for debriefing, right?
I went to the captain. She is superior to you, so cool it. Any remaining desire you had to check in on the bridge, and Lieutenant Lord was swiftly leaving you. Yes, Lieutenant, thank you. I am aware of the procedure, but I'm under direct orders from the captain to begin a constant patrol. Besides, I would have assumed that someone as capable as yourself would have been able to get the general picture of what had happened on the O'Brien without me needing to tell you. Or was the battle outside the ship and the giant machine currently in our hangar not obvious enough? If Vanessa had picked up on the barb in your query, she wasn't acknowledging it.
Captain's orders, huh?
For all those are worth. Although you'd initially assumed Vanessa's general aggression was just a personality deficiency. That's one way to put it. Her increasingly open hostility to the ship's command structure was beginning to stand out to you as something more than just unmanaged anger issues. I'm telling you, she wants to overthrow the ship. I'm calling it now. You make a mental note to bring it up with the captain at the next opportunity.
Lucky for you, Lieutenant. I'm more than capable enough to pick up your slack, and I've already gone through the communication logs, the Junos flight data. I'm also in the process of reviewing the O'Brien's black box information. You know, I'm actually pretty impressed. I assumed you'd been playing the hero because a certain someone was involved, but even I'll admit that it must have taken guts to wait for Hansen to get back to the Juno. That's the closest thing we've gotten to a compliment from Vanessa. I will begrudgingly accept it. Or was it that you knew you didn't stand a chance if you tried to pilot that Juno on your own?
A bit of both. If I'm being honest.
A15, stay alive.
Stay alive, we're trying. Space is making it very hard. So is Vanessa. I kind of want to throw myself out of the airlock anytime she is in my presence, but we have to make do, I suppose. You roll your eyes. You'd been surprised that Vanessa was giving you something that was coming close to a compliment. But, of course, it had been it had to be second-guessed in the very next breath. God, Vanessa, just for once, let it be. Look, Lord.
And another thing.
Oh God, here we go.
I've got to hand it to your quick thinking skills when it came to commanding on-sign crews during that battle. Without your decision to get Cadet Grange involved, things might have turned out very differently for the Gundog. Still,
It's a lot easier to just sit back and tell people what to do than to actually do it yourself, right?
I mean, you're pretty freaking good at that.
A lot less pressure on you.
You're about to snap back at Vanessa, but your exhaustion wins out against your anger and you swallow your words.
Well, Lord, I'm glad that you put your talents to good use and managed to get the assessment done without me. That's not Vanessa, that's me.
We'll just pretend that was the non-Vanessa voice. I've got orders to carry out, so if you don't mind, I'll be leaving.
Oh, not at all, Lieutenant. I wouldn't want to keep you from your important work. Keep it up. I'm sure your commitment to your duty will be rewarded very soon.
I hate her. I hate her. Unwilling to put up with Vanessa's consistent contempt for much longer, you mumble a vague goodbye and turn back towards the elevators. I do have to exhaust my talking though, so one more time. Lieutenant Lord. What were you doing when I came in? Those alerts from the control panel sounded pretty serious.
What is it to you what I'm doing, Pharaoh?
I'm security. It's my business to know. Also, I think you want to mutiny the ship, so I have concerns. Vanessa snaps at you. I'm on patrol. I'm checking that everything's...
Well, maybe check things that actually need your attention and don't start grilling crew members for simply doing their job.
Okay, fine. I just wanted to know if it's anything serious.
And how would you know what counted as serious operations, Lieutenant? Are you aware of everything we handle, or do I need to waste my time explaining it to you?
Alright, alright. You throw up your hands as you turn away. Understood, I'll leave you to it. Hater. Frickin' hater. Okay, calm down. The blast shutters would have been down during the battle, but against that thing, I don't see them being much use. Vanessa was acting pretty weirdly earlier. I wonder what she was doing at that station. Push her out an airlock. It's tempting. I mean... No one's here. No. Be good. Resist. Oh.
Called, join the cult.
There it is. I saw the notification and was like, it's not here. Where's Space Cult now? Or an airlock cult, excuse me. I wonder if I can get her out of here and look and see, but presumably not. I don't know. If she hit it after she saw I was trying to peek. Hey, Vile, how's it going? I come in and am immediately asked to join a cult. That's the vibe here. For better or for worse. Where do I sign up? You are inherently a member. Welcome. How's life going? Wonder who'd give me more grief for sitting in this chair, the captain or Vanessa? I'm sure Vanessa has sat her ass right down in that chair many a times, because we all know that's where she wants to be. Excellent, yes. Initiation complete. Right this way, sign here and here, and here, in blood. Just procrastinating at work, very good. Huh, okay, well that was the whole situation, Vanessa. I don't trust you at all, just for the record. I wonder if I can go talk to the captain again now that that's happened. Huh. Or if I should go to engineering first. I don't want to... Let me save. Oops. I don't think she'll have anything new, but just in case going to engineering first triggers the option to go away, I want to see if I can report Vanessa. It feels necessary. Okay, captain's quarters. No, not now. Oh, fine. James said you have other work to do. No, I don't want that. Alright, let's head to engineering, go talk to Chief, which always makes me feel better. You pass through the stillness of the aft thoroughfare and head into the thrumming depths of the engineering department. As you make your way through to look around for any sign of the Chief. Or, you look around, yes. Starting with the catwalks and workstations above, then the machinery that fills the level you're on, and finally finishing your search by scanning the levels below you. Hey, Chief! Chief, are you in here? Chief? Taking a deep breath, you cup your hands around your mouth and shout.
Chief! You wait for a moment, but with no response forthcoming, you decide that you can be sure the chief isn't in engineering. Maybe she's by the engine? Despite the level of noise coming from all the various systems, it wasn't like engineering was that loud. Instead of carrying on your search for Chief Cathays, you turn your attention to the engineering department in general, quickly going through your mental list of checks that make up your patrol's report. As far as you can tell, everything seems in order, leaving you without much to dwell on. That's weird, why aren't you here? That thing is, it's probably really important. Let's leave it at that. I'm almost certain that thing's the power distribution module. Distributes power to rechargeable batteries, at least. Thankfully, the computer seems like it's working fine ever since it was reset. Although there's never a good time for your ship's main computer to totally shut everything down, it could have been worse. If the chief's not in here, she's probably in there. I wonder if the engines are back up and running yet. I kinda want to look at the computer. I take a moment, if I can, to pause outside the door leading into the small room containing the interface for the ship's central computer. Did my card get taken away? Despite looking much like any other door on the ship, made distinct only by the stenciled paintwork stating that what lies within is the ship's mainframe, you can feel the weight of the significance of what lies behind it. It had only been a few hours ago that you desperately hooked up the portable sub-terminal and used the last of its battery to open the door, allowing you to make your way inside and reactivate the computer, and with it, the gun dog. You find a small amount of dark humor in the fact that you'd rather be dealing with those circumstances again, rather than what was happening now, despite the stress you'd felt at the time. You really never know what you've got until after it's gone. You run your hand over the cool metal of the door. It's not like I can get in here anyway. Access is restricted to the captain and Cassie. Yeah, okay, I can't. With that, you turn away and head back toward the engineering department's main walkway. No, I need to go I need to check the engine room. So it's time to report to Captain. Unless there's something I'm forgetting to check out. Carry on patrolling. There might be something I missed. It's not like I'm on a schedule or anything, so I'll check a few more things out. The doors to the engine room slide open in front of you, and you're met with the disheartening sight of the huge engine remaining totally stationary, devoid of its normal rotation. The sense of stillness that permeates the vast area you're stood in is disconcerting. The only thing breaking the all-engulfing silence is a constant grumble coming from the lone figure of the chief leaning over a control panel in the distance. "Chief, everything all right?" you call out as you approach her. "No, damn it, Lieutenant, it's not." You're a little taken back by both Chief's curt response, but also that you didn't need to pester her in order to drag her attention away from what she's doing. "Oh, no?" "No! If I didn't know better, I'd call it sabotage." Oh, that's not good. No one else on this ship has the know-how to do that kind of thing, so right now I look like an idiot who can't get the NPEs back online. Oh, sabotage. Oh no. Isn't this art incredible? I adore the style of this game. Whoa, Chief, hold on. Sabotage? Those muscles though, right? Let's take a moment to salute. That's not the right one. Let's take a moment to salute those muscles. Very good. Okay. Sabotage, you say? Tell me more. It's not sabotage, Lieutenant, but you just said. But what if someone did know and you didn't know that they knew? Like I said, no one on the ship would know how to do this kind of thing. She's swole as heck and I adore it. But I've ruled out hardware issues and I've never seen the software do a full reset on the startup processes before, so unless it's something I'm missing like an idiot, then... Chief, what's going on? ... Ugh. I'd gone through the entire startup process and was just about to fire up the NPEs when the machine crashed into the hangar and I had to go and secure it. The status of everything should have held at that point until I got back and it would have been straightforward to just enter a few commands and restart the engines, but... The chief lashes out with her boot, striking the bottom of the casing of the control panel she'd been working on. Could this be Vanessa's doing? Probably not, unless that's what she was doing at the computer somehow. I just want to blame her, because she seems like the type who would sabotage things. Just saying. The muscle mommy, she's gorgeous. The whole process has been reset, and all of my calibrations and checks have been wiped. I've had to start from the very beginning. Oh my god. Without the NPEs online, I can't even get the shit moving, let alone get the HFDD started. And until I can get the HFDD up and running, I'm stuck here instead of being in the hangar figuring out what's going on with that machine. It's killing me. And every second I waste screwing around with the engines is another second we're adrift out in the booties with God knows what in our hangar. Ugh. The chief strikes the base of the control panel again before leaning over it and beginning to key in commands. Even the preset functions I've installed have been wiped out. It's basically a shipyard status. This is ridiculous. First I'm going to have to... Is there anything I can do to help? Ah, no. Oh. Nothing personal, Lieutenant, but no, there's absolutely nothing you can do to help me in this case. Well, but thanks for offering. No problem, I guess. Before you're even done responding, the chief has turned her attention back to the screen full of diagnostics and settings and has begun keying in commands, pausing to take note of some nearby readouts and then inputting more information. Make a mental note to fill the captain in on the status of the engine startup process, and decide to leave the chief to it, since there's apparently nothing else for you here. Whew. Okay, let me just check one more time. Hey, Chief. About the machine in the hangar. What about it? What do you reckon it is? Where do you think it came from? Mars? Earth? That's a damn good question, Pharaoh. I've got absolutely no idea. I've never seen armor, weapons, or a propulsion system like that. I've read speculative proposals about that kind of tech, but we're decades away from even having the fundamentals of it. So is it future tech, was I right? We might be in peacetime, but all the big governments are doing everything they can to develop their weapon systems, and sure, they're not caught out again. But if anyone had anything like this, even in the testing stages a few years ago, the war would have been over a lot quicker one way or the other. Aliens? I'm pretty sure Cassie's possessed by aliens. I don't know, just a hunch. Even if this was Martian or Terran, doesn't make any sense to test it in the JCF's backyard. If it's ours, then why would they send us in without letting us know? So there's nothing, no indication where it came from or what it's for? I can tell you what it is, Lieutenant, that's for sure. That machine is nothing but a weapon. Beyond that, I might be able to figure out some answers to these questions if I wasn't stuck here restarting these engines from scratch. Which you're distracting me from, Lieutenant, so get out of here. Yes, Chief. Okay, well, that's that. Oh man, sabotage. Vanessa being sus as usual. Cassie with her weird headaches. I don't like any of that. I guess we're good to go talk to the captain. I am gonna take a quick refresh break. We do have a gun. I hovered over it when we were talking to Vanessa and then decided that was a bad decision, so it's there though if we should need it for any circumstances in the future, Vanessa or otherwise. Yes, I'm gonna take a quick refresh break, folks, so give me a second. I'll be back in just a few. I will leave you in view of the glorious muscles during my absence. Be right back. Right, hello, I've returned. Thank you for the wait. Poof. Okay, let's go talk to the captain again. I'm a little scared too after how it went last time, and the time before that, to be honest, but it's what we must do, so. Poof. Hello, there we go. Is there anywhere else I've missed? We did engineering. We did the armory, we did sick bay. Did the bridge. Ugh, Vanessa. Airlock, corridors and quarters, mess hall, fire control hangar. I think we're good. So let's go back here. Wait a minute, that wasn't this way the last time I passed through here. Wait, huh? What do you mean? Oh, this? Maybe Dalton didn't replace this correctly. It must have shaken loose during the battle. But it was definitely attached the last time I was here. Welcome back, thank you. There's a suspicious thing going on with the panel though, and now I'm nervous. This definitely wasn't like this when I came through here earlier. You head over to the entrance to the maintenance crawlway and, holding on to the sides, lean into the space first, looking up and then downwards. The ladder extends into the gloom in both directions, and although you can only see up to a certain distance, you can't see anything unusual and you don't hear anything either. Wait, no, come on, don't just not look around. With a shrug, you move to pick up the panel, placing it back onto the wall. Takes a little bit of trial and error, but eventually you get the panel attached again. Give it a few knocks for good measure. How could you just not? That should do for now. Why? We're crappy security officers. Yeah, this is how we got through the ship when our systems were down. But someone clearly went in there and we didn't go investigate both directions, which is dumb. Now I feel like I need to go... One goes up to the bridge, and one goes to one of the thoroughfares. Let's save over that just in case I was supposed to go look at something. Okay, if I go to here now, does it say anything else? I really want... Can I select it? No. Tisk. I don't like that. Okay, Captain. Yeah. I finished checking out everywhere the Captain wanted me to. Since I'm here, should I report to the Captain? You know what? No, I'm paranoid. Hang on. Hang on. I'm gonna check the bridge one more time. But I can't remember which thoroughfare it goes to. Maybe we'll report it, yeah. There's a few things we've come across that were odd. Okay, this is different. You haven't noticed any strange activity recently, have you?
Like what, Lieutenant? Like our entire ship losing power, even the backup systems?
Or how we lost contact with the ship that we were supposed to rendezvous with. Can you let me frickin' talk? Lieutenant. Or the sudden attack by a completely unknown machine. Lord, could I... Or how about... Lord, give me a chance to talk for 2 seconds. Now you listen to me, Lieutenant. Not giving Vanessa the chance to launch into another tirade, you instead just talk over her. I found the panel for the maintenance crawlway in the central hub on the floor. I'm just checking that nothing out of the ordinary has happened. Okay, I'm glad I did this. ... Oh, is that all? You place your face in your palm, wearied by the amount of effort you have to put in just to have a simple conversation with Vanessa. No, I've not seen anything unusual going on. That idiot cadet must have put it back incorrectly. Tell him that... Alright, thank you, Lieutenant Lord. With the answer that you'd been after obtained, you quickly shut down the conversation before your patience can run out. Dalton? Dalton's a cadet. Is Dalton the only cadet? Which means we have to go back to the hangar. Dalton's busy with getting the engine module removed from Hansen's Juno. I should leave him to his work. Poor kid. And... what's his name? Dylan wouldn't have been able to leave his post. The other cadet would have been moving around. I'm gonna talk to everyone else just to be thorough. Okay, so Haru's in the mess hall. Except you left, didn't... did they leave? No, they're still here. Okay, this is the same. So weird. I feel like she's covering and just made up something convenient. So if it was really cadet, I should have been able to talk to him. Suspicious. Okay. Check in with Chief one more time. Like the Stay Puft Ghost from Ghostbusters melted in that hanger. It does look like it, doesn't it? Except the only part that didn't get covered was the little camera hole, and it's been staring at me, and it's very disconcerting. Okay. About that machine in the hangar, what about it? Okay, no, this is the same. Okay. Try sickbay again. I doubt anything's changed there. So weird. Cassie. I wish there was something I could do for you. Even if I can't be here when you wake up, just something to let you know it's okay. Hang in there, okay? Alright, well, I don't think I can talk to anyone else, cause Cruz is in surgery. Oh wait, Dylan. Sorry, one more person. You will be... Where are you? Where are you? Where is that room? Fire control. Cassie is currently bedridden because she's the one who I think is possessed and getting weird headaches and passing out and stuff. It's... don't really know what's going on with her. Oh, Dees. Yes, Lieutenant. Okay, no, that's the music. Okay, so no one has anything to say about the panel. The only cadet I can think of is Dylan, and it wouldn't let me talk to him. So I guess we're gonna go speak with the captain. Thought maybe she was still up and working. No, she was in a better state when we left for our mission, but when we came back she was out of commission again, so it's weird timing. Alright, I guess that's all I can do. Just trying to think, is there anyone else? We talked to the pilots, we talked to Dylan, we talked to Dalton and Chief. We talked to Vanessa. Cassie's out of commission, so the operations crew I've covered. So all that's left is Captain, as far as I can tell. Report to the Captain. Well, I've not found anything that really needs reporting. That's not true. We found the weird panel situation. We found Vanessa being sus. I think those are both worth mentioning. Check the bathrooms for toilet ghosts. The last time we checked a bathroom, we found vomit everywhere, and it was deeply unpleasant. But there's nothing else I need to do right now, so I should let the Captain know I finished my patrol. After briskly making your way to the Captain's quarters, you find yourself stood outside her familiar, insignia-marked door. Oh wait, I forgot to do something. You're about to knock to announce yourself, but before you can, you instead move your hand to cover your mouth as you let out a loud yawn. You stop midway through your exhalation, interrupted by a twinge of pain in your neck as you'd raised your arm. You roll your neck a few times, but this does nothing to shift the discomfort that you're now feeling. Seems like the painkiller the doctor had given you is beginning to wear off. You sigh, which quickly turns into the previously interrupted yawn. I'm so tired. The tiredness, which you'd been doing your best to ignore since you'd returned to the Gundog, was now hitting you hard. You were suddenly very aware of the physical and emotional toll the past few hours had taken on you. To feel exhaustion spread through your body, you hope that after you make your report to the Captain, would commit. Okay, sorry, I understand. You hope that after you make your report, the Captain would command Haru to take over the security detail whilst you get some rest. You also hoped that, following your heated conversation, the Captain didn't have a punishment in store for you. Don't remind me. He'd mulled over the protocols he'd broken and knew that she was well within her rights to dismiss you to your quarters here and now. Sigh again, much more deeply, and swallow your apprehension. Being mindful not to aggravate the pain in your neck further, you slowly raise your hand and tentatively knock on the Captain's door. Enter. You hear the Captain announce from the other side. Hey, Captain, what's up? Lieutenant Farrow. I assume you've come to me with a complete record of your patrol this time. Because I am not in the mood for a discussion about anything else. You shut your eyes briefly and draw in a deep breath, mustering the energy to engage with the Captain. Yes, ma'am. And? You release the breath slowly. Conversations with the Captain could be exhausting due to how little effort she seemed to put into them, and right now you felt the very real need to conserve your energy. Having visited fire-controlled the bridge in the engine room, aside from the existing issues— oh wait, and also the thing in the engine room, we need to report that too. Sorry, I just remembered that. I was like, there's something else I forgot to whine about. Aside from the existing issues with the long-range communication system, sensors, and NPEs, there's nothing new to report. The potential sabotage? Hello? With the exception of a few minor technical issues that appear to be the result of our battle with the craft, I can't find anything untoward or immediately suspicious. There's no sign of any intruder that I've been able to observe. I see. So everything's in order. You clench your jaw to stifle a yawn as you catch a glimpse of the Captain's bed in the annex that serves as her bedroom. You find yourself desperately craving your standard issue bunk. On the patrol route, at least, yes. Good to hear. You do your best to stifle another yawn, willing the Captain to dismiss you. In that case, Lieutenant. You relax slightly, awaiting the order to finish for the day and pass the torch to someone else. I want you to head to the sickbay and get an update on Ensign Cruz's status. No sleep for you. The Captain looks like she's having a bad day. What did I miss? She's always having a bad day. But also we committed insubordination and she's kind of pissed at us for the second time. So there's that. You tense up again, the prospect of immediate rest now pulled out from under you. You should see her super pissed face though. Her eyes go really bug-eyed and she like squints at you really scarily and it's very intimidating. I don't think she'll do that again right now though. Ensign Cruz, ma'am? Yes, Lieutenant. When I'd previously spoken to Dr. Rosarium, he'd advised that the procedure should have been finished some time ago, Non-sign crews should be ready to resume duties shortly after. I need to brief on-sign crews of his new responsibilities, but I'm yet to hear anything from the doctor. So, Lieutenant, I need you to head to the sickbay to find out what the delay is. Understood? You'd allowed your weariness to creep over you, but it had been bearable because of the expectation that once you'd reported to the captain, your duties would be done. No, I have to do everything on the ship, don't you remember that? Now though, with another task foisted upon you, it felt almost overwhelming. With a Herculean effort that you hide from the captain, you throw a swift salute to acknowledge your new task. Yes, ma'am. Understood. Very good. Dismissed, Lieutenant. You maintain your posture until you've left the captain's quarters, but as the door closes behind you, it's all you can do to not slump to the floor. We're just gonna pass out in sickbay. This must be the last thing she has for me to do today. There's no way. This is our punishment. You sigh deeply and pinch the bridge of your nose, taking a moment to wallow in your exhaustion until you feel ready to face this latest challenge. Alright, let's go. Alright, that went better than it could have. Move to sickbay. Oh. We're here again. Hello? You lean back against the rear wall of the elevator and shut your eyes, savoring the brief moment of relaxation that comes from resting on the cool metal of the wall and listening to the gentle hum of the elevator's movement. You stay this way, seconds away from drifting off to sleep until you feel the elevator begin to slow. You wearily open your eyes and push off the wall, standing upright. You lazily bring your hand up to your eyes to shield them from the harsh glare you know will come from the sickbay's lighting. As your eyes adapt to the light, the first thing that catches your attention is a glitter-like shimmer from the floor at the far side of the room. Excuse me? Once your vision has adjusted completely, you realize that these sparkles are caused by the high-powered lights, reflecting off fragments of broken glass that are scattered all over the floor. Oh god, not again. Oh no! Oh no, it's exactly what happened. Doc, are you okay? Doctor! Oh no! Slumped over his desk, I was reading ahead. Slumped over his desk is Dr. Rosarium. As you approach him, the dread is replaced with nausea. You see his one organic eye remain open, staring straight downwards, but devoid of life. Oh no! Doctor! Damn it! Oh god, it's happening again. You quickly draw your electroshock weapon as you look over to the bed with Cassie on it. Cassie! Seeing her lying still, you move swiftly over to check that she's alright and feel a rush of relief as you see her chest rise and fall. Shiver runs up your spine as you hear the sound of someone stepping on broken glass behind you. I'm just gonna save real quick in case there's any other QTEs happening. You hold your breath, wait for a single second, and then swing around, bringing your gun to bear on where you heard the noise coming from. As you swing your arm around, it's immediately intercepted, stopping its arc before you can aim at where the noise behind you had come from. All you have time to process is a fist flying towards you, striking you square on the chin. Ow! There's nothing you can do but stagger backwards. Within a second, you're unconscious. That's not good. I mean, I thought Cassie was possessed by aliens, but she seemed like she was out of commission, so the only other person that was in this room was Cruz. Question mark times 3? ... Wake up, Lieutenant. ... I don't know who's talking to me right now. Oh god, frickin' Vanessa.
Asleep on the job. You and your girlfriend are too much alike.
Lord, what's...
Finally, I was beginning to think that you decided to copy our Lieutenant Commander and play Sleeping Beauty for the rest of the mission.
Cassie, is she... Ugh. In the same moment that you sit up quickly, a lance of pain strikes you in the base of your skull and you wince, gritting your teeth and squeezing your eyes shut.
I wouldn't make any sudden movements if I were you. We found you knocked flat out on the floor of the sickbay.
Oh my god, Vanessa. What's happening?
Hey, Super, how's it going? Welcome on in.
Looking at the way you fell, you must have taken a serious blow. A shame. It's not like we've got a doctor to deal with that kind of thing anymore. So that's the second time a doctor specifically has been taken out. Moving more slowly this time, you bring yourself upright and maneuver so that you're sitting on the edge of your bunk. You keep your head bowed as you tentatively feel the back of where you'd hit the floor. Dr. Rosarium, he's...
dead. You must not have got a good look at him, but someone pulled his plug. Kind of funny one.
Oh my god, Vanessa! Okay, Lieutenant Lord, that's enough. Yeah, so we went to another ship that we were supposed to rendezvous with, and the machine, the thing that we brought on board, took out most of the crew, but save for the doctor, who was... we're not sure. We thought maybe she suffocated because the airlock was depressurized and the whole ship was depressurized. But it was the same situation where all the glass is broken and something was going after the Nutri-Shakes that were on the shelf. So there's something, I think, happening with the Nutri-Shakes. And doctors presumably would be the ones to be able to identify what that is. So it seems like they're targeting doctors to not let anyone get leads on what's connected to the Nutri-Shakes, I think. That's my current read on the situation. What about Commander Quinn? Is she...
What? You don't want to know more about the doctor? Aren't you already planning your investigation? Shouldn't you be asking me if there's any information that might help you to find that?
Can you shut your mouth for 5 seconds? We also very much got a right hook to the jaw. Yeah, like, give us some slack for once. You turn to look Vanessa straight in the eyes, your face a stern expression of disapproval. Just tell me how Commander Quinn is doing, Lord.
She's unscathed, Lieutenant. As always, she somehow managed to come out of things absolutely fine. We've moved her to her quarters for the time being, to keep her secure.
Good, okay. You rest your elbows on your knees and place your head in your hands, massaging your temples in an attempt to reduce the pain that had traveled up your neck and into your forehead. Oh god, we have headaches now. What happened? I went into the sick bay and saw Dr. Rosarium at his desk. Went over to Commander Quinn and then, I mean, it could have been Quinn if our back was turned and she, like, jumped up and karate chopped us. I don't know. But it could have been Cruz, too, or someone else. You remember spinning around to aim your electroshock weapon at whoever had been behind you, but you hadn't managed to get a good look at them before they'd knocked you out. I got knocked out. What happened after that?
Well, lucky for you, Ensign Cruz was in the surgery wing, waking up after his procedure.
He was still in surgery and waking up, which makes me think it maybe was Cassie. Okay. Cruz is the one who hit the alarm. I'm assuming I can trust a thing that you say, Vanessa?
He saw the silhouette of your fight through the glass and hit an emergency alarm. Although whoever it was managed to escape before Cruz could make his way out of the surgery wing, or anyone else could get there.
But they found Cassie there too, right? Oh, I'm so confused. Can I look at the log for a second? No? Okay. Oh, yeah, there we go. We've moved her to her quarters for the time being, so presumably she was in there too. It's always the nervous cute ones. Wait, that means it's Dalton. No, I refuse to accept that reality. No. Nope. He's the bestest bean.
That makes it twice that he's saved you this mission. Maybe we should be promoting him to head of security instead.
You roll your eyes at the thought, whilst cringing internally. Having Hansen to thank for your survival was becoming an uncomfortably common occurrence. So what's the current situation then? Do we know? As you go to stand up, the same pain from earlier returns and you sit back down, wincing and rubbing your neck.
Unfortunately, Lieutenant, no, we don't know anything. With our head of security taking a nap and everyone on high alert at their stations, we've not managed to have the chance to investigate. But don't you worry, Lieutenant Farrell. We've got Ensign Cruz and Rumney taking care of security operations until you recover. The whole ship's on lockdown at the moment. All clearance is restricted purely to necessary duty areas for each crew member, and access can only be granted from within the room if someone else wants to enter. So
But the captain's happy for you to take your time to recover. If Captain Bartermuse doesn't want me back on duty immediately, why are you here?
Lieutenant, we're crewmates. Can't I stop by to check in on your recovery?
You're just here to gloat and bully me. You don't care about me. Come on now, we both know this. You shoot Vanessa a stern expression, raising your eyebrow, but staying silent.
Oh, fine, Lieutenant. I wanted you to understand the full stakes of what's happening right now. We're stuck out here with no communication system. Our doctor is dead, our lieutenant commander is inconveniently out of action for the foreseeable future. We've got a hostile craft sat in our hangar. And with all this going on, our captain's guidance is to just lock things down and carry on. Considering the circumstances, you'd think she'd go with a bit more of a proactive approach, wouldn't you say?
Lord, what are you getting at?
Nothing, Lieutenant, don't worry about it.
You're always implying something, Vanessa, come on.
For now. I just wanted to make sure you were up to speed on current events in case you needed to make any decisions. That's all. Oh god. Anyway, take these and get some sleep.
You react with a start as Vanessa throws a small packet of painkillers to you. She's gonna mutiny, I swear. You catch it and turn it over in your hands. You notice the box is slightly crumpled and pull a small fragment of glass out from where it had been lodged in between the box's tabs. Oh god, what if I swallow glass?
We'll be needing you, Lieutenant. Soon.
Wheel? Who else is on your side? You look up from the packet just as Vanessa turns to leave the room. I don't trust you, girl. Without saying anything else, she exits your room and steps into the corridor beyond, with the door hissing shut behind her soon after. Once Vanessa is gone, you take the opportunity to look over the packet again before placing it down next to you on your bunk. You make another attempt to stand up, although you're more cautious about it this time. Despite how gingerly you'd risen to your feet, the pain in your neck had still reappeared before you were even upright. With a sigh of defeat, you open the box Vanessa had given you and extract 2 tablets from their packaging, quickly tossing them into your mouth and swallowing. You slowly lie back down on the bunk, resting your head on your pillow. As you lie there, you go over what Vanessa had told you. Dr. Rosarium was dead, but Cassandra was fine. Whoever had been responsible hadn't been apprehended, and the whole ship was on high alert. You begin to think over who the assailant could be. You couldn't think of motivation for a single crew member to attack the doctor. Although, now that you think about it, the disarray in the sickbay was very similar to what you saw in the O'Brien. Was what happened there happening here? Plus, what was Vanessa talking about making decisions for? Your mind slows as the medication kicks in, and your thoughts lazily drift from one subject to another. Although you do your best to keep thinking about the dramatic shift in circumstances, you feel yourself beginning to slip out of consciousness and back into the exhausted slumber that Vanessa had interrupted. The last thing you remember before drifting off to sleep is that as soon as you were awake, you knew the first thing you'd be doing was visiting Cassandra. Oh boy, that's, game. April 24th, Planetary Calendar, 2:14. After recovering from the attack, Lieutenant Farrow awakens in their quarters a full 24 hours later. Man, we were out. To find that they are yet to receive any instructions. So many things, game. So many, I'm overwhelmed and getting increasingly paranoid by the second. What was it? 214, I think, was the year? With no pending orders, they decide to check in with Lieutenant Commander Quinn to see if they recovered from their affliction. Jovian Space, Lieutenant Farrow's quarters, the Jovian patrol ship JFS Gundog. As far as I know, it's just 214 of the Jovian calendar, so who knows what that means in our context. I know that Earth exists and Mars exists, but we're not close to them, presumably. Reaching up above you and interlacing your fingers, you lean back, stretching out your back and your neck. As you release the last remnants of tension in your body, you sigh. Thankfully, it seemed that some bed rest was all that you needed to shift the accumulated aches and pains that you'd gained over the course of yesterday. Yeah, space years do weird things. Some sleep coupled with a shower and a change of uniform had left you feeling like a completely new person, almost as if nothing had happened at all. Although, despite how reinvigorated you felt, there was no way you could ignore what had happened. Still, there had been no more alerts, and you'd not received any orders via your terminal, a sign you hoped that everything was going well. For now. Now that you were fully recovered, you had resolved to start the investigation into who had murdered Dr. Rosarium and attacked you. But first you'd be visiting Cassie. I wonder if it was the pilot that we saw on the O'Brien, assuming that person was the pilot of the machine thing. Just remember we saw a glimmer of a person, question mark, quote unquote person, and then they like disappeared and we were like, did we imagine that happened? What if that's them and they can like shift in and outside of the machine and they're trying to take over now? I don't know, game. Okay, let me save. Let's see. I am gonna wrap up soonish, but I do think we'll at least go talk to Cassie. Let me just check there's nothing here. Let's see. You work your way through the terminal's menus, checking for any new orders, mail, instructions, etc. that may have come through between when you checked after you woke up and now. Nope, nothing. Okay. Stepping out into the corridor beyond your quarters, you barely make it halfway to the four-side thoroughfare before an announcement sounds over the loudspeakers. Ugh. First thing I hear when I wake up. Why? You instantly recognize it as Vanessa, despite the slight distortion caused by the speakers.
Attention all hands, I repeat, attention all hands. This is Lieutenant Vanessa Lord. All members of the crew are to assemble on the bridge for an emergency briefing. Attention all hands, I repeat, attention all hands.
The announcement is made a few more times until eventually you hear the subtle pop of the speakers indicating that Vanessa has stopped broadcasting. An emergency briefing. You quickly make through the ship towards the bridge, only stopping once you're outside the elevator. You run your keycard through a reader and wait a little longer than usual. You can only assume that whoever is on the bridge is taking a few seconds to authenticate your ID and grant you permission to enter. Soon enough, the door opens and you step inside. As you stand alone in the elevator listening to the dull whir of its motor, you wonder why the captain had called this meeting. Had she come up with a plan to apprehend the attacker? Had Haru and Hansen uncovered some plot whilst you'd been resting? Or had something even worse happened that the whole crew needed to be made aware of? After a short wait, the doors slide open and you step out onto the bridge. Hi everybody! Hey Cruz, good to see you up and standing. Wait a minute. Hang on. Where you'd expected to see the captain, you instead see Vanessa, sat in the captain's chair and flanked by Haru and Hansen. No, oh my god, it's happening. It's frickin' happening. Hang on, let me save again. I was hoping that Hansen would be like, I don't know, not side with her.
Lieutenant Farrell, glad to see you're so enthusiastic. Please wait there until the rest of the crew joins us.
Did I not say it? She's definitely sat in the captain's chair before.
This is illegal, you know.
It sure is, but she don't care. Vanessa does what she wants. What's this about, Vanessa? Where's the captain?
I'll address that once everyone else is here, Lieutenant.
Vanessa, this is no time for screwing around. What's going... Take it easy, Lieutenant. Ensign Rumney swaggers up to you, placing their hand on your shoulder before moving around behind you. Lieutenant Lord just needs you to be patient and wait for a few minutes until the big announcement. It's the Vanessa cult now, I think. Oh no. I don't want to be part of this cult.
Cult, join the cult.
No, I refuse to join the Vanessa cult. Your posture stiffens as you feel something... Oh! Wait. Oh my god. Your posture stiffens as you feel something blunt thrust into the small of your back. You're confident enough that, unlike Cassandra's prank when you first came on board, this isn't a pen. How frickin' dare you? Oh no! Cult war in space! The drama! You'd better listen to what Ensign Rumney tells you, Lieutenant. They like to be in charge and don't take kindly to people who try and get on top of them. You frickin' Hansen, I was trying to warm up to you, bro, and you're gonna be an ass too. Ugh, you're the worst. Feel the blunt object slide around your back to your side as Haru steps around you, keeping their arm draped over your shoulders. Crew should know. He's speaking from experience. Oh my god, please don't. Okay, it's the gun. You glance down and see that protruding out from underneath the jacket that they're always carrying around is the muzzle of a large handgun. There's an airlock with so many names on it right now. Hit the button, hit the button. Maybe Dalton and Chief will save me. I trust them. Oh god, okay. Full-on handgun, yep. Not an electro shotgun like yours, but a lethal weapon. Vanessa, what the hell are you? She told you to wait, ma'am. You'd gone to step forward towards Vanessa, but Haru emphasizes their point by thrusting the gun deeper into your side. You quickly stop, letting them draw you back to where you'd stood. There we go. Good choice, Lieutenant. Just let me look after you and we'll both have a good time. I hate this. Before you can respond, there's a small electronic chirp that sounds from the captain's chair. Vanessa looks down to the control panel and enters a quick series of commands. You hear the whir of the elevator, and after a few seconds, the doors open, revealing Dalton, who nervously steps onto the bridge. Okay, but like, they're gonna have limited guns, right? If enough of us show up, we can overpower them. Or we'll just die horribly, but we can try.
I heard the announcement and, that's good, Cadet. Thank you for being so prompt. Do me a favor and stand over there by the lieutenant, would you? Oh, yes ma'am, will do.
As the cadet makes his way over to your side, you look at Lieutenant Lord, staring at her with silent fury. All you get as a response is a sly grin. I want to slap her so bad. So freaking bad. As much as you'd love to wipe that look from her face, you know that Hansen would be on top of you the moment you tried to disarm Haru. You couldn't rely on Dalton to remain calm in that kind of situation either. We freaking need Chief. Get here now. There's a good chance that he would get caught in any crossfire. Instead, you just remain silent.
It's good you're feeling better, Lieutenant. I was really worried when I heard about what happened to you in the sickbay.
He doesn't even know, my sweet baby. Thanks, Dalton. With her smirk looking increasingly sinister, Vanessa shakes her head at you, causing you to stop your response midway through.
Ma'am?
You haven't had much time to resent Vanessa's subtle malice when you hear the same electronic chirp as earlier. After Vanessa repeats the previous process, Dylan soon appears even.
Wow, great atmosphere in here, huh?
Dylan looks to all of you, but after receiving no response, he brings his headphones up over his ears and reaches into his jacket pocket. He's just like, gonna go zone, okay. You hear the click of his cassette player and watch enviously as he drifts off into his music. Doesn't take long after that for the Chief to arrive. Chief, save me, please. With your strong, glistening muscles, save me. Much like Dylan, she takes stock of the silence and doesn't interrupt it, instead standing silently by one of the control panels. You all stand in this awkward silence with no one either daring or willing to break the quiet that fills the bridge. Although you notice a few furtive glances from the Chief as she surveys the room, and some looks shared between Haru and Hansen as they keep the rest of the crew under close surveillance, everyone remains relatively still. Leaning back into the chair and crossing her legs, Vanessa positions her elbow on one of the armrests and rests her head on her hand. Okay, I feel like I should save here. She's the worst.
Don't worry, everyone. We're just waiting for the captain to arrive, and then things can begin.
There's a round of uncomfortable looks that pass between Dylan, the Chief, and Dalton. After a moment, the Chief steps forward to say something. Lieutenant Lord, what are... Wait for the captain to get here, Chief. It'll all make sense then. You can see the Chief mull over this response, and although it takes a few seconds, she steps back, taking her previous position by the control panels. The silence on the bridge, which had clearly never been designed to hold this many people at once, continues to drag on until it's eventually broken by the now familiar chirrup of an access request.
And here she is now.
Oh my god, they're gonna shoot her. Lieutenant Lord, what are you doing calling an unauthorized all hands? And what are you doing in the captain's seat? There it is. There's the glare. The level of tension that was already present suddenly explodes, suspense saturating the air. You feel the hairs on the back of your neck stand up as the realization of what Vanessa is planning hits you. Oh my god, I'm scared. Just like the chief, Dalton and Dylan, just like the chief, Dalton and Dylan, your eyes flick from the captain to Vanessa. Well, it is my seat after all. Oh my god, it's happening. What did you just say? Striding forward with intensity and purpose, the captain raises her right hand across her body and swings to strike Vanessa. Please let it connect. I need this game. I need it. Damn it. Damn it, Cruz. Let me have this moment. Careful, Bartimeus. You don't want to get written up for striking a superior officer, do you? The last moment Hansen's arm had reached out, viper quick, and he'd grabbed the captain by the wrist before she could bring the back of her hand down on Vanessa. It would have been so good, though, game. It would have been so good. Cruz, you release me immediately. Cruz, you idiot, you... Hey, now, how about everyone calms down for a moment, huh? She's got a gun. Stepping away from you, Haru reveals the handgun they'd been hiding under their jacket and waves it around lazily before walking over to stand on the opposite side of Vanessa from Hansen.
Now that we all understand who's in charge here.
This is mutiny. Okay, but maybe Cassie can save us. She's the only one not here. Yanking her arm back from Hansen, the captain turns to face you whilst pointing at Vanessa. Oh god, I am the security officer. 3 of them? That's not gonna work.
Lieutenant Farrow, detain these 3 immediately.
You move your hand towards your holstered electroshock weapon, but find yourself hesitating for a brief instant. Oh god, I'm stressed. Oh no! I'm gonna get frickin' shot. Follow the captain's orders. Grab your weapon, but before you've drawn it halfway out of the holster, both Haru and Hansen are pointing their guns right at you. At least I tried. Y'all are the worst.
Admiral, Lieutenant, but you're not that stupid, are you? Don't worry, I know you're just following orders like any good member of the JCF would, so I won't hold it against you. If you holster that weapon right now...
You glance from Vanessa to Hansen and Haru, whose weapons are both trained on you. Frickin'... Although Haru's expression is hard to read due to their shades, you can see a steely coolness in Hansen's eyes, telling you that he'd have no hesitation to pull the trigger at Vanessa's order. I saved your frickin' ass, man. I waited for you. I could have left you on the O'Brien to rot, and this is how you treat me? Screw you. No, unless you're double agenting right now. Maybe they're gonna turn on Vanessa. I want to give you an opportunity to turn this around. But I'm still pissed. Knowing that you wouldn't be able to draw your weapon before you'd be gunned down, and that the 2 pilots are clearly willing to do so, you release your grip on the weapon and slowly raise your hands.
Good choice.
I won't stand for this. All of you are.
Cruz?
Oh god, oh my god, she's gonna get shot. Yes, ma'am. Oh no! Within the blink of an eye, Hansen steps up to the captain, balls his hand into a fist, and swiftly strikes her in the stomach, causing her to double over. Cruz!
Slow down, Lieutenant.
The captain staggers backwards, clutching at her stomach before falling to her knees, retching in pain. Stepping towards the captain, Hansen cracks his knuckles. It's not like you didn't have this coming, Bartimeus. Hansen reaches down to the captain and grabs her by the collar, dragging her back to her feet. Just as she regains her footing, he yanks her towards himself before immediately shoving her back and releasing her, sending her lurching backwards before she falls to the floor. Cruz, that's enough! Damn it, Cruz, stop!
That'll be enough, Ensign Cruz. I'm sure she's willing to listen now. Unless anyone else has any other objections. Nope. That's what I thought.
Uncrossing her legs and rising from the captain's chair, Vanessa takes on a formal posture and walks into the middle of the bridge. I, Lieutenant Vanessa Lord, as of 1700 Jovian Standard Time, April 24th, Planetary Calendar 214, in accordance with the Jovian Colony Fleet Convention, Section 16, Article 7. Oh my god, shut up. Announce myself the new captain of the JFS Gundog. I justify my announcement through Section 16, Article 9, on the grounds that neither the captain nor his second-in-command are fit for duty based on medical circumstances. I'm hoping the other half of us can unite and figure this out, and that maybe Haru and or Cruz are double agenting, but I don't know. Or maybe Cassie will just come in and save the day. Anything could happen. As we don't currently have a doctor on board, I am forced to make this assessment based on my own discretion. I feel like maybe you had something to do with Doc's death now. In addition to this, under Jovian Colony Fleet Convention Section 16, Article 12, I am limiting both the previous captain and the lieutenant commander to their quarters on the suspicion of treason. Lord, what the hell are you? You spring forward to grab Vanessa, your hand already on your electroshock weapon. But before you can get to her, you're immediately stopped by Haru, whose pistol is crammed deep into your stomach. Haru, I saved Cruz's ass and you were grateful. Is this how you treat me too? There's only so many times I'm gonna tell you to stay cool, Lieutenant. Looking past Haru and a smug Vanessa, you can see that Hansen has similarly leveled his gun at the Chief and Dylan, both of whom step backwards. If you'd care to let me explain. We are currently in the middle of a situation that goes beyond negligence and incapability. Lieutenant Lord, the captain hisses, staggering to her feet with one arm over her stomach. You stop this now, or... Oh, you bitch! With a slap that echoes across the bridge, Vanessa sends the captain, who is still unsteady on her feet, reeling. As she falls back to the floor, Dalton moves to help her, but is quickly blocked by Haru. As I was saying, it's clear that both Mary Spartamuse and Cassandra Quinn are traitors. You expect me to believe that the captain and her second-in-command are both incapacitated exactly when their clearance is needed to maintain ship operations? Maybe you arranged that somehow. Did you put something in her whiskey? And that some unknown craft clearly made by our enemies managed to make its way into our hangar, having already destroyed the O'Brien from within and killing its crew? Don't tell me this is a coincidence. It's clearly treachery. The Gundog and the O'Brien are obviously both being offered up as test data for a new enemy weapon. Yes, that's what that said. And Bartermuse and Quinn are the traitors who sold us out. Why else would they keep us from reactivating the Gundog? How else could that craft have gotten on board without help? Why would Quinn be mysteriously out of sight when that happened? And the Dr. Rosarium ends up dead when she's in his care. What did he find out? Did she decide he knew too much? Not only is Quinn a traitor, she's a murderer too. Lord, that's insane. How the hell could... You wanna be careful, Lieutenant. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt since you were the one that brought the Gundog back online and were with unsigned crews during the attack. But your close association with Lieutenant Commander Quinn means that I've had my eyes on you for a while, and I'm by no means confident that you're nothing to do with this. After all, unsigned crews didn't see anyone else in the sickbay after the doctor's murder, except for you and Quinn. How could I have... Ugh. Very suspicious. Still, for now, it seems like I can trust you. So, as per Section 16, Article 12, I am announcing that all crew present, with the exception of Mary Spartamuse, have the choice as to whether they wish to continue to serve under my rightfully mandated authority, or if they'd like to maintain their allegiance to a traitor and be treated as co-conspirators when we get back to Europa Colony. You're making a lot of assumptions if you aren't behind this.
Hell no!
Oh, hell no, indeed. Or you've orchestrated this whole thing. I don't trust her. At all. An agonizing silence fills the room as Vanessa stands proudly amongst the crew who shift nervously. Both Hansen and Haru keep their guns trained on the crew on each side of the room, compounding the uneasy quiet.
Don't worry, I'll be happy to take any lack of response as an affirmative.
As the silence drags on, it's clear that none of the crew are on board with the idea, but at the same time, it's obvious that none of them have enough loyalty to the captain to justify the risk of being charged with treachery. For you, though, this isn't about the captain, it's about Cassie. Lord, would you think about what you're doing? Taking medical command is one thing, but accusing the captain and Cassie of treason is...
This sounds an awful lot like a no, Lieutenant.
You grit your teeth and breathe in. Oh... I mean, I'm willing to stand up here. Maybe against better judgment. It is a no. There's no way I'd join in with your scheme. This is nothing but your personal grudge. You saw a chance and you took it. There's no way the JCF will take your side on this.
That's a shame, Lieutenant. I really thought you had more sense than that. But I suppose this is no surprise. At least it resolves matters. Cruz?
Oh god. You suck. Shut up. Nothing personal, Pharaoh. Orders are orders. Shifting his weapon's focus from the Chief and Dalton to you, Hansen walks across the room, stopping only to sweep an arm out from underneath the slow-recovering captain, who was again attempting to return to her feet, sending her back to the floor. Make life easy for both of us, huh, Lieutenant? Turning on her heels, Vanessa returns to the captain's chair, sitting down with a smug expression on her face.
Chief Engineer Cathays, Cadet Grange, I want those engines online now. As soon as they're operational, we'll be heading back to Europa Colony. Warrant Officer Dees, I want you back in fire control and to remain on high alert. We're going to assume that we're in enemy territory and I want you on the lookout for any hostile activity. Understood? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Chief? Chief?
What's that, Chief Engineer Cathays?
Yes, Captain.
You're all dismissed.
With that, the three crew members quickly depart from the bridge in a single elevator, leaving you with Vanessa, the two pilots, and the captain.
Ensign Rumney, you take care of Miss Bartermuse.
Sure thing, Captain. Shoving their gun in the back of their waistband, Haru walks over to the captain and lackadaisically delivers a kick into the captain's stomach, causing her to heave and curl into a fetal position. Come on, Bartermuse, let's get going. Dragging the captain upright, Haru holds onto her until she's able to stand, shoving her towards the elevator as soon as she can stagger forwards. Once they're both on the elevator, the pilot turns to you, looking over the top of their shades as the doors slide closed. Haru, please, come on, please. Oh, I hope you're doing something good here and pretending to be bad. Okay. I don't know how to interpret that look. They could be, but maybe they're like double agenting that I still want to believe. But I don't know. Okay, maybe not. You made a bad choice, Pharaoh. As soon as the doors of the elevator containing Haru and the captain are closed, the doors on the other open and you feel the muzzle of Hansen's gun as it's thrust into your back. I'm gonna give you a verbal lashing so fierce. One more thing. Keeping his gun firmly pressed into the small of your back, Hansen leans around to your side and draws your electroshock weapon from its holster. Damn it, I should have picked up a second gun. Stepping back, he slides your weapon into a pocket within his jacket before gripping his gun with both hands and returning its muzzle to the small of your back. Don't want you getting any ideas. Take her away, Ensign. If you're taking me to my quarters, I can get out through the thing in the bed, right? Yes, ma'am. Hansen shoves his gun harder into your back and you reluctantly comply, walking across the bridge and into the waiting elevator. Once in, you turn around. Hansen keeps his gun trained on you, and behind him, you can see Vanessa sneering at you from the captain's chair. I freaking hate her.
It's really a shame, Lieutenant. I'd had such high hopes for you.
Before you're able to tell Vanessa what you'd hoped for her, the doors slide closed and you're left in silence with Hansen. We're not gonna say anything to him? once you arrive in the central hub, you're unceremoniously shunted at gunpoint through the ship towards your quarters. Once outside, Hansen gestures toward the terminal at the side of the door. Understanding his instruction, you take out your keycard, run it through the reader, and enter your security code. As soon as the door opens, Hansen snatches the card out of your hands and shoves you into the room. You suck, causing you to stagger your way inside. Leaning nonchalantly against the doorframe, his boot positioned to stop the door from closing automatically, Hansen looks at you wordlessly. He remains silent for a few short seconds with a ruminative expression on his face until you manage to stand back up and turn to face him. Once you've regained your composure, he straightens up and angles the gun towards you. You know, Pharaoh, I was beginning to come around on you. Yeah, and then you had to be a butthead. What's that supposed to mean? Hansen smirks. The stuff you've done, you're actually kind of alright. I was starting to warm up to you, man. We were gonna be frenemies and you ruined it. You might not be the coward you were back on the Calic anymore. Thanks. Good to know I've changed your mind. Hey, don't get too ahead of yourself, Pharaoh. You might not be a coward, but you're still an idiot. You should have gone with the rest of the crew and sided with Lord. Now you, Bartomuse, and your girlfriend are gonna get pulled on treason. There's no way the JCF's going to believe her. You, Lord Rumney, you're all going to get court-martialed for mutiny. I don't know about that, Pharaoh. Lord's got some pretty serious evidence. She's got it all figured out. This is how it ends, Lieutenant. You're going down for some third-rate captain and your airhead girlfriend. Hope it's worth it. It's a shame. I was kind of looking forward to grabbing a drink with you and Rumney back on Europa. Whatever. We'll pour one out for you. Oh, thanks. Hey, don't worry about it. Now get comfy, Lieutenant. You're gonna have a dull trip back to Europa. As Hansen turns to walk away, you leap towards him, aiming to get your hand in the way of the door to prevent it closing. Before you can make it to the door, Hansen pivots and once again levels the gun at you. You stop inches away from the door. It was a nice try. Be a shame if an alien ate you, Hansen. I should have left you with the machine on the O'Brien. Ugh. The worst. The worst. Hansen, you prick. You yell, banging your fist on the door. You can't do this. With your head in your hands, you turn back away from the door and sit down on your bunk, your mind racing as you think about Vanessa's mutiny, the prospect of getting court-martialed, and what might happen to Cassie. You're so angry that you can barely think straight. Different thoughts rush through your mind, but you can't focus on one for long, till it's replaced by another and your mind becomes a roiling storm of emotion. Eventually, after much pacing, swearing, and the occasional kick delivered to the now stubbornly shut door, you manage to calm down enough to begin formulating a plan. She's not going to get away with this. Oh. April 24th, Planetary Calendar 214. Following the murder of Dr. Rosarium, Lieutenant Lord takes command of the JFS Gundog on the grounds that both the captain and her second-in-command are unfit for duty. As her first act, Captain Lord has Mary's Bartomuse and Lieutenant Commander Quinn confined to their quarters on suspicion of treason. The ship's security officer, Lieutenant Farrow, is also confined to her quarters after refusing to follow the new chain of command. Jovian Space. Lieutenant Farrow's quarters, the Jovian patrol ship, JFS Gundog. Oh boy, that was so intense. Okay. I think I might leave it there, folks. Bit of a cliffhanger, and I want to see what happens, but it's almost 5 and I need to start getting ready for dinner. It's been almost 2.5 hours, so I feel like that's a good natural stopping place for us. I think we can get one more stream out of this. Chapter 9, okay. I still don't have a good sense of how much is left. It could be 2 if it's a longer section, but I'm hoping we can do one more stream and see how this all resolves. But anyway, we shall leave it on that note. I'm gonna see if we can find someone to raid. Let's see. Ooh, DJ's on. for streaming. Yeah, thanks for hanging. This game continues to entrance my soul. Isn't it great? I'm really impressed with what they've done. See. Yeah, I think we'll say hi to DJ. I hope we throw Vanessa out of the airlock. At the very least, I want to slap her. If I can slap Vanessa, I'll be happy. But if she gets any modicum of consequence, my patience will be sated. Oh, she's playing some Kingdom Hearts. Very good. Okay. So same thing as I said yesterday. I will try and stream tomorrow if I can. Actually, there's a lot going on tomorrow. There's the Pokemon Presents, then I have to go vote, and then I have to go run some errands, and then do some work. I'll try to stream in the afternoon. It might be a bit later, depending how long life takes. But I can't just leave this on a cliffhanger. I really want to know what happens next. And I really want Vanessa to get the retribution that's coming to her. I hope. But yeah, I'm hoping sinuses and jaw will cooperate tomorrow as well. So I can do a longer stream and hopefully, fingers crossed, finish this game maybe? DJ. Shark. Girl. In the meantime, we're gonna go hang with DJ though, so thank you everyone for swinging by. I wish you a great rest of your day. And until next time, take care everybody. Bye!